Hello everyone, this is CJ992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and in today's video we have the joy of sitting here talking about a Rangers performance that saw 5 goals scored. People, you know what I mean? You score 5 goals, you must have pulled scants down and looked unbelievable, but if you actually watched that game of football, you'll know for a large majority of it, it was painful. People, you know what I mean? I'm greyer than I was at 2:59 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever heard that expression that's probably in movies and everything? Like, you've probably heard that a good ending will save a bad film. You know, like Rogue One, for instance, and everything like that. Well, that's exactly what happened, because from the 80th minute onwards, it was celebrations. It was Stone Cold's music hit. It was beers getting slapped together. It was yeah. But for the 78 minutes before that, it was no, because it was painful. People, and we're going to try and discuss this roller coaster of emotion, because it's never easy, it's never simple. We've lost the league now. You should right, bring in younger players, bring in the players that's going to be here next season. Let's build it, let's go with that, let's get that vibe. Well, we've never done that either, people. So let's talk about Rangers 5, St Mirren 2. Now I know exactly what you're thinking, CJ. How have you managed to pull off an old saying, a wrestling saying, and a Star Wars saying all in the opening minute? I don't know, people. I'm on fire right now, but so was the crown jewels when I was watching the defending in this game. Because again, it was 5-2. It's great to win. It's great to score goals. But if there's any glaring problems that's out there, people, is we have 2 centre halves that, one, can't deal with any cross that's coming in low or high, and to add a wee sprinkle on top of that cherry, people, is they also can't header the football. But it's alright, people, because despite the manic, despite the mess, despite the mistakes that has cost us all season long and cost us so many points, no matter how much we didn't learn for them, someone grabbed this game by the scruff of the neck. That was absolutely unwilling to allow this game to peter out and become a point for Rangers, because we've seen that story before. We've seen that game and the midfield sort of went missing, or it's fell away, and we've just sit here and say, yeah, it was one of the days where the defence gave away. It was horrific and no one was able to grab the game. Well, that laddie did, people, as again, he grabbed this game like he grabs his hairbands, he wraps them up like this, and he crane kicks folk looking like Daniel LaRusso. Todd Cantwell, people, was absolutely outstanding in this game, and for me the biggest reason we are sitting here smiling and happy and a bit jovial rather than being absolutely infuriated that we weren't good enough versus St Mirren at Ibrox, because for a large part of that game we weren't anywhere near our standard. It did feel like a pre-season game, but if there was a couple of players that was playing on that edge exactly where they should be, Cantwell for me was the one that stood above them all in terms of everything he was able to do. And I'm not just talking about the fact they scored or even the assist, which is absolutely disgusting, by the way, and we'll speak about that shortly in today's video. It's not just gone forward, because you're expecting a Todd Cantwell to bring that level of quality, because again, he's Todd Cantwell. People, it's the industry side of the game, it's the grafting side, it's the willingness to be the guy to grab a scrappy game that is completely now in St Mirren's favour of bombing down, everyone just starting to hit random crosses, no one showing composure, St Mirren winning a lot of cheap fouls, Rangers getting frustrated. The only unit never lost his composure, well, I'd also put Raskin in that bracket as well, but we'll speak about that later on in that as well. But the one who led by example, that never got lost in any of the shuffle, was Todd Cantwell. And again, for me, it's another game in a Rangers shirt. I sit back and say, you can see the genuine levels. I love a lot of these Rangers players, people, and they gave me so many memories, but you look at that guy in the middle of the park and you sit there and say, aye, he's levels. So for me, spoiler alert for the rest of the video, I wanted to shout out Todd Cantwell because he was absolutely standing and head and shoulders above everyone else on that park, in my opinion, in a Rangers shirt, and deservedly finally won the sponsors man of the match. And even though I think he's personally destroyed this narrative already with his performances and how big he is and how much he gets stuck in to these games and grabs games by the scruff of the neck, I think it well and truly puts the final nail in the old coffin that this laddie is too lightweight for this league and won't be able to handle the hammer throwers. He just made them look absolutely silly this evening. In a game of football, we needed them more than we probably should have at home versus St Mirren. And I'm not being disrespectful, they're having a great season, a lot of hard working players in that setup, but the way we relied on a Cantwell this evening was mad, considering it's at home and what we've got at our disposal, despite obviously the injuries being the way they are. You look at that starting 11, that should have been a lot more comfortable than that, but we overly relied on the young laddie. He was able to put us on his back this evening, and I thank him for that. So aye, the player that was outstanding and stood out to me, if you can't got enough time to listen to the entire video, was Todd Cantwell. But if you can listen to the entire video, you'll see exactly why that is. But let's obviously go ahead and get into it. There wasn't too many changes. We were promised an exciting team that got people thinking, oh, maybe a McCrory, maybe this, but it was exactly what we're all expecting. A game we never made a preview video because I had a feeling it was actually going to be this way. We obviously got to see John Souttar and Ben Davies continue their partnership from last week, and the less said on that, probably the better. They absolutely infuriate me for two big laddies that can read a game, that can see a game. I do not understand how neither one of them can throw a header on any, and it's baffling, and it just invites unnecessary pressure. And the goals we'll talk about from their perspective, you'll see all that. It's so needless. If we had two centre halves able to get up and throw the header, I know we get frustrated at Goldson for never getting headers on target, but at least he gets up and actually puts his noggin on some. But aye, let's get into the start of the game, because of course we were given the perfect opportunity to start the game perfectly with a penalty in the opening 5 minutes of the game. People, Raskin clearly fouled. It's 100% a penalty kick. Really like Raskin in this game as well. We should technically have an assist in terms of fantasy football land for winning the penalty. Up steps Tavernier, and to be fair, I think it's easy to say the lad missed it or anything like that, but this is just a great save. You look at it, Tav's put it right in the corner. The goalie's guessed early, got there. One of these ones that I give a lot of credit. If McGregor saves that, I'm going, oh my god, unbelievable save. So it's one of these occasions you have to hold your hand up and say, Carson, it was just a ridiculous save. And I actually feel that's such a pivotal moment in how this game ended up playing for 7 to 8 minutes, if you will, because we'd done the right thing. We started strong, we won a penalty and everything like that. We got the penalty decision from Raskin. It was good play to get it. Up steps Tavernier. We have the opportunity to set us on the right path to go and have a very successful day, but we get denied that, and it just sucked the air out the stadium. And I truly believe it sucked the air out the players as well, because I don't know if you can remember back after such a good last 10 minutes, but a lot of that game, especially that first half, was literally watching a pre-season friendly. And I'm not talking about the third or fourth one when you start playing. I'm talking about the 1 or 2 when you're giving boys who's not going to be a major part of the team opportunities, when it's so slow, when it's so passive. I mean, the only one that was really creating anything in the opening 20 minutes or was willing to create was the Cantwells, the Raskins and the Tillman. It was just those three. Tillman tried a wee clever pass to Morelos, who was caught on his heels, and Tillman was very frustrated because he put the ball right exactly where he wanted to go. And I like that. I like to see Tillman showing a bit of emotion, because he's always so calm, he's always so composed. But I like that, especially having the balls to do it to Morelos as well, by the way. And then a couple minutes later, he gets on the ball from a nice wee pivot for Raskin. Chips the ball over. Sakala should do a lot better, but the boy is just sitting here looking like Stevie Wonder for a few seconds there, and it ends up going to the keeper. That was the closest we came in the opening 24 minutes of this actual game, after missing the penalty, where again it was slow, again it was lethargic, and again it felt like a pre-season game. But we were sparked back into life, and it feels like that's what we constantly need with this team. You know what I mean? If someone doesn't spark us, if someone doesn't have a moment, it just slow, and there's a lot of players in that team that waits for someone else to do it. But Davies ends up playing a nice ball into Morelos, who does very well to just kick it down to Sakala, whose first touch is immaculate, just to lift it. So unlike a Sakala in terms of how skillful this is. And then he releases the shot, and it's a fantastic save again for Carson, for almost point blank range as well, especially with how hard he hit it. But that was the moment that got the crowd back up. That was the best bit of football we had played for about 20 minutes at that point. And then you felt a goal was eventually going to come, because again we were sparked into life. Again the passes started to spring, and Lundstrom plays a nice ball into Morelos, who kicks it over to Tillman, who carries the ball for a little bit, plays it down the channel, down the right hand side. Great ball in to Sakala, who then slips in Tavernier. It's a driven low cross. The cross is weak, Annie. Actually defended, looked horrible. Defended well, it was the shoe on the other foot, if Cinderella will, people. As St Mirren looked lost with the low driven, and Cantwell smashes it into the back of net to get his second goal for Rangers, and a goal he certainly deserved over the last few weeks. And a big moment for Tav as well, grabbing an assist after, of course, missing the penalty. But I really liked Lundstrom pinging it into Morelos. That's Morelos at his best, holding off a defender and bringing others into play. Tillman with the skill and creativity, drive with the ball, play it to where it needed to be, and Tavernier again gets the ball for Sakala. And that was a great goal, and really should have set us on our way. And to be fair, the almost the exact same combination nearly created the second goal in the game, where again Tillman is so massive here as he gets the ball, he carries it after a quick breakaway, plays another great ball down the channel to Sakala, who drives it forward in, attacking that near post, nearly a carbon copy of the goal we just broke down. But to be fair, again, it's actually really good defending here, as the St Mirren defender does something that I want our guys to actually do. Just throw your leg at it. Or, you know what I mean? We've got so many centre-backs, we've seen it so many times, that just allow that ball to come across their 6-yard box and there's always a tap and there's always a goal. How many times have we seen that, me and you? Not just this season, but last season in big games and all that as well. Well, the defender just gambles, sticks the foot at it, and it does enough to knock it away for Cantwell. And Morelos, who's a bit flat-footed at the back post, where I feel like he should have been attacking the front post, but he's a bit flat-footed, and it ends up being Raskin who dives in for the 50-50, but the referee ends up giving a pity foul. And then we take all that hard work, all that effort, all that good football, scrumple up and chuck it away to concede the worst goal we've conceded this season since our very last game. People, it's so lazy here. It really is. First one, Tavernier needs to do a lot better to stop the cross. I love the skipper, he's on, know this, but this is so damn poor. I thought he started the game off very well defensively, got involved in it, but he needs to stop this cross. It doesn't get out quickly enough. It ends up getting half-heartedly headed away by Ben Davies. It then goes to the other side where, guess what, Barisic is then too slow. The two fullbacks far too slow to get out, put across. It gets crossed back in, we header it out again. It goes back out for a third time, people, where a St Mirren player is able to chuck in a cross into our box without any pressure on him. The third time in about 30 seconds, and guess what happens? It ends up falling to O'Hara, and to be fair, it's a screamer, right? And if again one of your players, I'm celebrating and loving life, and I am giving a lot of respect to that goal because it's a ridiculous volley, hits the post and ends up gone. And great goal and great skill and everything like that, but at the same time I'm looking at it as a Rangers fan from a Rangers perspective. How are they getting free unpressured crosses into the box within the exact same minute? It's so damn lazy. And that was the sucker blow, that was getting the air out the entire stadium again just before half time. And then we're going in looking at that first half being confused and bemused as a fan base. We were expecting a response for losing to Celtic, we were expecting an exciting team, but it's not been that at all. And again, pay the opposition respect and that for making it difficult, but you could tell there was a couple just going through the motions, no pulling out of second gear, just revving a wee bit when they needed to. We jog here. It was nowhere near good enough at the intensity we want to see for a Rangers team. So it was a big team talk for Michael Beale. And to be fair, he got the perfect response coming out in the second half as we're front-footed, we're attacking, we're playing the way we should be playing, and that is going forward. We end up winning a free kick after Tavernier is wiped out, and Barisic just hits just a gorgeous boy. You know what I mean? This is what's so frustrating about Barisic, because that left foot, when it's on the money, is as good as we've seen in a very long time in a Rangers shirt in terms of delivery. It drops it exactly where you want to go. And to be fair to Sakala as well, second half Sakala turned up with a great header. He was driving me crazy in the first half, especially when a Cantwell, a Raskin and a Tillman, they were all interchanging, they were all playing the first touch pass, and they were all looked like they had Velcro on their feet, if you will, and then it would go to Sakala and the boy's taking a touch and it's gone out for a throw-in, and you're saying, I see what Beale's wanting to build here with them three, and then I'm just seeing chaos and madness. But the one thing that, again, you can always say about Sakala is this man brings you a goal or an assist. If you play this laddie, he will bring you goals or assists. It's just out there, it's just there. You might not like it, but if you're playing Moneyball, your first pick in the draft is Sakala, because he changes games, people. Great header, great delivery from Barisic. Our two fullbacks are both on assists, and Sakala gets his goal that he seems to always get whenever he plays. Remember how I've just praised Sakala? Well, please remember that, because over the next 5 minutes he should have done a hell of a lot better on 3 separate occasions. One of them, Tillman just is an outrageous back heel. I mean, he's got 2 guys on him. Somehow he back heels it in to Raskin, who plays it to Sakala. Sakala then has Tavernier, who's made the 50-yard sprint to get in the box. He's got to pass to him. Sakala's got a rush of blood because he scored, hits it to the old double Z, and then you're sitting there looking like, what on earth is he doing? And it just gets worse after that, because he shoots again another needlessly after Tillman again's involved with Cantwell. Nice little 1-2, they play it to sakala, and sakala, instead of looking for the right option, ends up having a pop. But even as I say it out my mouth, how many times have we been frustrated about people no pulling the trigger? But on these two blatant occasions, I think there's better options to actually pass. But again, Tillman was heating up. Tillman was looking good, and he's got 3 or 4 players around him just at the edge of the box. Somehow, he beats them all. I mean, Joe Aribo's sitting there with the old feet a bix up, smiling, because he's no playing for Southampton. He's sitting watching this game with the old feet up, saying, "Nah, I remember when that was me," because it's disgusting. The skill moves there. Wins as a dangerous free kick. The Tavernier gets on target, but again, it's a good save. But you might notice the speech is getting a bit faster because we were playing at a frantic level, and Raskin goes very close after a quick counter-attack from a set-piece. Sakala tries to hit it over to Morelos, I think, ends up getting undercut and just sort of falling to Raskin, who absolutely hits a ripper, but it's annoyingly another good save for Raskin. And then you might be sick of hearing the name right now because I know a lot of people didn't like him, but Tillman again invites the contact. The boy's coming in, he just flicks it round the corner, takes the contact, ends up playing it out to Morelos, who finds our boy Sakala on the right hand side, who ends up rolling the ball wide when he should have got it on target. That's the game. See that spell there, that 4 or 5 minutes, that was 3 or 4 golden opportunities to put this game away, but we weren't clinical enough, people. And what always happens, especially this season, to this Rangers side, if we aren't clinical enough going forward, we seem to shoot ourselves in the foot going back, and that's exactly what we did to let this game go back to 2-2 with just horrific defend. Originally Davies doesn't do good enough here to end up hitting it out for a corner. Again, he just seems to struggle with balls coming in for that direction. I don't know what it is. The other way he's alright, it just seems to be always, maybe it's because it's his weak foot and he's not got the balance. I don't know what needs to be done there, but he doesn't sort his feet, gives the corner away, the corner comes in, it's horrifically defending. I mean, Rangers winning a header in a defensive set piece challenge, please. Hashtag impossible. But they end up heading it out themselves. It comes back in. You're thinking, John Suter, go on, big soapy. You're a big animal here, man. Get up there and put your header on it. What's he done? He's pushed the ball, yeah. And to be fair, I think it'd probably been a penalty kick, if I'm being honest with you. But he ends up headering it down. You've came with a big laddie like that. He's came right here. He's jumped up in the air. Somehow he's headered it down. I just didn't get it. Ends up going to Hara, who has a snapshot volley again, and it gives Alan McGregor absolutely zero chance. Now, I've not mentioned McGregor yet, and to be fair, I'm not blaming him for either of these 2 goals and everything like that. You just can't do anything with them 2 volleys buried in the corner. His 2 centre halves have been horrific in both the goals again, by the way. But big soapy, man, come on, I want you to be successful. The one thing you can bring to your game is just header it, bro. It's a cinder block up there. Put it up in the air. But aye, it's horrific. It's been Rangers all season long. And you know what's mad, people? Isn't it just the fact we've conceded a painstakingly, easily avoidable goal again this season? It was the response after that, because yes, the crowd was getting a wee bit grumpy and everything like that, but again, you're a Rangers team. Pull the jersey on, actually perform. The panic stages for the likes of Barisic just started hitting aimless crosses into the box when no one's even there, which brings more frustration. You're looking around and saying, who's going to grab this game? Who's going to save this game? And again, there was a guy by the name of Todd Cantwell, and it's brilliant. Now, again, he doesn't know too much to actually do here, but if you look at the build-up of the goal, he's got on the ball, he's driven the ball out wide, he's then sprinted into the box, the balls came in, he's headered it towards the back post. Obviously he's trying to shoot it, but it ends up falling to Alfredo Morelos 2-3 yards out. The big man's no missing that. He smashes it into the back, and it gets today's little knee slide and everything like that. But again, Cantwell gets his assist that he well and truly deserved. Just by the way, he was nipping about and kicking about. And I don't know about you, but I really feel like when, I think it was Goggett, no, it was Tanzer, sorry. Tanzer really gave him a bad kick and tried to talk a lot. He smacked him. And what I really like to see when he got up, he was barking back, you know what I mean? And it almost psyched himself up, people, and it just got him at that edge, and then he was able, and then he got involved, and it didn't matter how many times they kicked him or pulled him or dragged him back, it didn't affect him at all, because he was lasered in and focused and winning this game because of the way they were kicking him up and down the shot. And again, he gets his assist, and then less than a minute after that, people, we have another goal as Rabi Matondo is able to be released. The young lad who is 22 years old. What were you doing at 22 years old. Were you playing for Rangers? No, people. He's got son. Because of the hard work, because he's a good player. That's why we brought him into this club. That's why we've spent it. Yes, he's had a poor season, but how many good Rangers players have had poor first season? I don't know why we pretend that everyone hits the ground running and we've got favourites and we protect them but then throw everybody out to the actual wolves. Sometimes it takes time, and it makes me so happy to see this 22-year-old laddie with a smile on his face once again, and it's a great assist. He does well to look across the line. We've got somebody that looks across the line. People, he stays onside and he just burns them for pace, and then he ends up having the composure to pick out Morelos, who has a great finish. If he's not scored a minute before, this gone the bar here, people. That's the way Morelos has always been, but it drops to him, he finishes it perfectly. They're trying to celebrate, they hit a wee double knee slide, it's a perfect moment, and then the referee gives it the old flag and all that, and you're looking, you're like, no. And again, anybody else, you're that used to Rangers players, the Morelos, the Sakalas, looking across the line and being offside. But I'll tell you something right now, people, it brought a tear to a glass eye to watch a young laddie in a Rangers shirt look across the line, take a step back, keep himself onside and go forward with the football. Football can be so easy sometimes, and it's good to see someone treated that way. It eventually gets given after the linesman makes a horrific call, and Morelos gets his second of the game. That now kind of kills the game off. It makes it 4-2 in the space of 120, 180 seconds, if you will. This game, which was absolutely all over the shop, is now dead and buried. And it's also a great ball originally through to Rabi as well. I think it's Cantwell that actually plays on through in that angle, and then you're feeling it, then you're feeling good, and then Scotty Arfield shows what he is. I know he's frustrated me a lot in the year, but if you've watched his channel for many years, you know I love a Scotty Arfield and everything like that, right? And where again he is maybe losing a step in this area, where he is still as razor sharp as my camera is going out of focus. We're talking about Scotty, lad. Stay right here as we're talking about something that's no lost its edge. The one area that he hasn't is reading the game and making those late runs, and it makes me so happy because I feel like he should have been coming on a wee bit earlier in the last couple games, especially the big games, because we've needed the likes of Scotty, but it's quite clear that Scotty will be moving on to the end of the season. It's clear that Beale doesn't fancy the laddie going forward on that, and that's again his prerogative as being a Rangers manager. But Arfield shows you what nobody else in this middle of the park has got: the forward thinking ability to break the line for the midfield, get beyond the striker, get beyond the defence and put the ball into the back of net. And the way that he does it, no surprise, Cantwell's heavily involved. He drops a no-look pass. People, you know what I mean? No-look pass. That's the official. If you want to try it with me, no-look pass, people. That's the official sign of the no-look pass. It's gorgeous. It's great. And what's so nonchalantly beautiful about this goal is you don't only have a no-look pass for Cantwell to play him in. You've then got outside of the fit finish for Scotty Arfield that's hit directly at the goalie. Of course it is. It's Scotty Arfield, but he's pegged the goalie, people, in a nutmegging sense. You know what I mean? He's put it in between his legs. It's in to the back of net, and we get a salute, people, that might actually end up being the last salute we see in a Rangers shirt. And I can't handle that, people. It's like watching Bambi knowing how it starts. Hopefully there's many more salutes to come before the end of the season. But again, it shows you what Scotty Arfield's got, and all I can hope is we look every midfielder we've got in this club in a room with this laddie for the next couple weeks, couple months that he's a Rangers player, and get them to understand and see the game the way that he does. Because when he goes, there'll be a void right there in Dempsey breaking down lines of defences and breaking that line for the midfield and getting actual forward. So Scotty, love the goal, love the last 10 minutes, and no surprise, Cantwell is just being the best player on the park. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I've got to say about the game. I wish we could play the way that we played in the last 10 minutes versus St Mirren every week, but we can't, for whatever reason this season. Hopefully we're pre-season and moving players on that needs to be moved on and injecting more quality. Because you look at the Tillmans, the Cantwells and the Raskins, you see how they're playing, you see how they're linking stuff up. You can really see what Beale wants for his actual team and the free-flowing nature that they've got. I think we are, in safe hands. We just need to actually get over the line, get players out that needs to be moved on, and inject fresh people with fresh ideas into what has been a stale second best squad, unfortunately, this season in terms of league football. But if you can get that percolating, if you can get that fighting, you can get players fighting, there's obviously still another trophy to play for, so it's important to keep building and pushing and playing like the way we did in the last 10 minutes, because the rest of that game isn't anywhere near good enough if he want to win at least one trophy this season. So aye, that's all I've got to say about that. My man of the match was quite clearly Cantwell. Tillman was very good in that as well. Raskin was really good. Morelos gets a dirty double and everything like that, and linked up the play pretty nice. But that's me. My only problem area is the two centre halves, where I didn't trust them at all whenever a ball comes into the mixer. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comment section below. And if you didn't mind, let me know your old man of the match. That would be sensational. And as always, I've been Sage over 92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.